I am back. As many of you have noticed in previous videos, I have been gone quite a while now, and it's time to make my big return, or just mediocre return, judging by my skills. I have been questioning myself whether I should give you a reason why I was gone. A quick rundown is I was really busy and then I was traveling. Now I'm back, I have my full setup and I'm ready to start making more videos. So without any further ado, let's roll the footage. Pay close attention and by the end of the video you will be on your way to become a pro aimer. Have you ever wondered how is it possible that you see so many great streamers and players like Shroud, Timmy, Asu just switch from game to game and seemingly effortlessly just hit the craziest clips you have ever seen, and you're left there wondering, will I ever be able to do this? The answer is yes and no. It's not magic, it's just practice. But Doughbox, you might be wondering, what practice are you talking about? How can I get my aim from looking like this to looking like that? Well, it's simple and complicated at the same time. There is a good reason why aiming is one of the most complex gaming mechanics in any game out there that takes years, literal years or decades to master. To make it simpler, you just split it into simpler tasks. Here, let me show you. Depending on where you look, you're gonna find that the definition of aiming is gonna be split into 2 or 3 different tracks. I'm gonna focus on those 3 as it allows you to split it even further, allowing you to focus on more specific tasks each time. So the main 3 types you need to acknowledge yourself with is tracking, flicking, and gun skill. When I say gun skill, this is gonna be more of a game specific type of aiming, and I will not go into much depth for that in this video, as I want this to be as general for all the games as possible. Gun skill will be something like recoil patterns for your individual guns in your trigger discipline, for example, when holding a corner. With that out of the way, let's hop into the first one, which is going to be tracking. So, what exactly is tracking? Well, tracking, as the name might suggest, is just your ability to track a target on your screen using your mouse, and it can be either horizontal or vertical, or it can be combined. So far, the single best piece of software I found to improve my tracking ability is an aim trainer called AimLab. It is completely free on Steam and I would highly recommend you get it. It doesn't take much space on your hard drive, so I'm gonna show you quickly which sets I use and quickly how they look, and also what they help you improve. One of the crucial steps at the beginning is to make sure you exactly copy your in-game sensitivity into AimLab. It should be pretty easy. Starting off, we're doing side-to-side strafe. This is really good for games like CSGO or Valorant, but also Apex for those up-close fights where you need to track your opponent side to side. After you are done with that, we're going to move into the sphere track 360. This is just your overall looking around and tracking in general. This is pretty slow, just to do warm up before we move to the more advanced ones. Now that you've warmed up, we're going to move on to something slightly more complex. This is just the same thing, but faster. This is going to be similar to the first exercise we do, the side strafes. However, it's going to be more realistic of your opponent moving faster, also crouching. This is probably one of the more challenging ones. The goal is to ideally aim at the head and just track opponents and make sure you pick the same opponent when they cross over. And remember that when you're doing these exercises, it's best to do 3 to 5 attempts. Don't go over, don't do less. It's just to get your aim warmed up before you actually hop onto the game, which is going to be in a next step. So now we're going to do some flicking. Now, quick note before, I don't think that for games like Apex, flicking is essential. I think it's more of just a flashy thing you can do. For the most part, I think you should be more focused on improving your tracking, because that's gonna also convert into flicking later on. But if you just practice flicking, your tracking is gonna suffer and then it's all gonna go to hell. So focus on tracking before flicking. So like I said, this is optional, but if you do decide to do flicking, I recommend this map. It's gonna be flicking on opponents on head glitches, and it's really good. And then of course we have the classic grid shot. Don't overdo this and focus on your accuracy before speed. This is the most important thing. Accuracy over speed. So we are at about halfway mark here. If you like the video so far, please consider liking and subscribing. They take a lot of time and effort and it means a world to me. And if you think there's something I could improve, please feel free to leave a comment down below. I will try my best to respond to all of them, and thank you for your feedback. So now that you've warmed up for about 20 to 30 minutes, it is time to quit aim training, exit aim lab, don't do anything more. If you overdo it, you're gonna see less results. Don't overdo it, it's really not worth it. You're not gonna have fun and you're not gonna see any better results. So at this point you should go and play your actual game. Now it is best if you can go to firing range or like a warm-up area where you can just practice your guns real quick. Don't do more than 5 minutes so you can get used to the game mechanics and don't feel absolutely useless in the game. You might not always see the results right away. Sometimes it takes a week, 2, maybe a month before you can see those results, but trust me, they will come in if you put in constant work. And every time you hop on the game, instead of just going in mindlessly playing and dying in pubs and getting angry, just go and do your 30-20 minute warm-up before you hop on. First of all, you're gonna have way more fun because you're already warmed up when you start playing, and second, you're gonna see improvement really quickly compared to just playing the game normally. Another great habit you should get into is to always try to focus on blaming yourself over blaming others. Here, let me explain. So, whenever you die in game, instead of instantly jumping to conclusion that it was your Wi-Fi, your hardware, your teammates didn't help you, or your opponent was just way too good for you, try to find at least one thing you did wrong. If you can, run a recording software like NVIDIA Instant Replay or set up a replay buffer on OBS and just go back and look at what you could have done better. This is going to take up a lot of your time. However, if you get into the habit of constantly finding mistakes you could have done better, then you're also going to do that in game while you play. And if you constantly check if you're doing everything correctly in game and find all the possible mistakes, you're going to improve your playstyle on top of improving your aim. It's just win-win situation that you should always do. So, some final thoughts before I close off and leave you guys to think about it. I gave you the tools. How you use them is up to you and completely your own personal choice. Some people will use them to the full extent, some will not. This is your call, and it is only up to you on how good you can ever be in anything. And on that note, we have reached the end. Thank you guys so much for watching. I would really appreciate if you could like and subscribe. If not, let me know down in the comments what I could improve. And see you in the next one. Have a good one.